Welcome to Being Friends with Jess and Tony Ann, an inside look at our friendship, millennial things, sports, and pop culture. Come laugh with us, or maybe at us, and let's be friends.
Okay, welcome back, friends.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hope everyone had a great week.
It is Tuesday, election day.
Oh, yes, it is election day. Did you vote today, Jess?
I didn't vote, but there were circumstances of why we didn't vote. So.
Yes, no, that's fine.
It wasn't by choice.
I did vote today, but only because it's so convenient right across the street from me. And there wasn't really a point because everybody that was local election that I had to vote for was running unopposed. So it was really like a waste of my time.
Yeah, we had our mayor election, and I'm like mad at myself for not voting, but like I told you before, a lot of things were going on today, so voting was not in the cards.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But I hope everybody else watching voted. And if you didn't vote this time, that's okay, because like I said, there wasn't much going on. But next year, everyone better get their butts out. We're not really
Tony Ann, the child of the election runner.
Yes. I'm only saying that because I have 2 poll workers as parents. We're not going to have political talk or anything like this on this podcast. Don't worry, guys. But, just do your civil duty. That's all we're saying. Yeah. Whichever way you go. So, yeah.
What's in your Chinatown?
So today I have again. I'm done with the bowls. We're back to the classics. So I got my Metz beer stein.
Oh, I like that one.
I know. So I got a low-cal ale.
Oh, I should have used that one. I have that one too, actually, now that I think about it. I have World Series again. It was easy. I didn't have to go digging.
Okay, good. And you got red wine in it again?
Yes. Yeah, the red wine. Might be a heavy pour this time around, but oops. So cheers, friend.
Cheers. I don't really like how the symbol is on, like, why is it like this? It should be here.
It's the Mets, and they do everything ass backwards.
Maybe this was a defunct cup. It's from the same creators.
They're all from Whirly Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Everyone gets their souvenir cups from Whirly Cup.
What a monopoly this Whirly Cup has.
They have the best cups.
Oh, it's a good beer.
That's good. What is it?
Again? It's Low-Cal Resolution from the R&D Brewing Company, which is out of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Nice.
Yeah. So, pretty good. They have a bunch of different ones. But anyway, it's been an interesting week. I hope everybody enjoyed our last podcast.
I enjoyed our last podcast, if anybody was wondering.
Is it sad? Back to talking about how your memory is always better than mine. I already kind of can't remember what we talked about last week.
Halloween? TV?
Yes, no. TV. Yes, that's true. Now it's called coming back to me.
No, wait, it wasn't TV, I don't think. It was Halloween for sure, but the TV was 2 weeks ago with the condiments. I don't remember.
No, it was. It was last week was Halloween, then we got into Disney Channel movies, then we got into
the songs.
TV shows.
And the songs?
Yes.
And then literally our podcast haunts my week every single week. Something that we talk about happens in real life. Like 2 weeks ago, we got haunted by the condiment train.
Yes.
And then last week, I was just driving to a baby shower, and there was a solo flipped car, which made me think of you, because I was like, oh my God, Tony Ann literally said this, and I told her she was being dramatic. And here's this car, like, on its lonesome, upside down.
Yep. It's just.
So, I don't know, like, hopefully whatever, we don't talk about anything terrible this week, and it comes back to haunt us, but,
Yeah, I think that it's just that we talk about things that are so topical that.
I agree.
They're going to come up every week because we're just so topical.
Just the best.
Anyway, what was your ridiculous thing this week?
I think both of us had the same ridiculous thing, and that was the New York Jets game last night. And don't
Yeah.
ask me why I'm wearing this shirt, because I don't know why I'm still wearing this shirt, because it was just an embarrassment, honestly.
I'm wearing
An
green, but
embarrassment.
it's
Like,
not for
it's
the
a joke.
Jets.
I don't understand. First of all, remember 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, when I was like, oh, the Jets beat the Eagles, and we were all like, how the hell did we beat the Eagles? Now I feel bad. Like, the Eagles should be ashamed that they lost to this team. Like, more ashamed than they already were, because what were we doing?
They haven't lost to anybody else since either, so they literally only lost to the Jets. Like, that's embarrassing.
I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand. Like, what is Zach Wilson doing? Why can Lazard not catch?
Oh,
The special
Butterfingers
teams
over there.
I was yelling about the special teams last night too, because I was like, "Where's the defense?" And Alec was like, "It's the special teams," and I'm like, "Same shit. They're still defending." But like the first quarter of a game, are we kidding? Like, come on.
It was really bad, and we're all in agreement that Zach Wilson's horrible.
So
but
horrible.
I feel a little bad for him, because as mediocre as he is, he's even worse because he has absolutely no offensive line. So he has no one defending him. He has 0.5 seconds to find someone to throw the ball to. He has no time in the pocket at all.
I mean, yes, but he was kind of doing well when they were first like, "Oh, you're gonna get benched," and then he was like, "Oh, gotta step up." So can we just tell him that we're gonna bench him again, like the fire under the ass, and like
No.
literally maybe a physical fire under his ass? Like,
Who
don't
we gonna
burn the
play
guy,
in
but
his
like,
place? He's who we
didn't
got.
they pick up that guy? I thought they picked up that like Simeon guy or whatever his name is.
Oh, did we? I didn't even know.
Yeah, they like picked up somebody, but like I don't know what the status of that is. And then they're like turning around and they're gonna be like, Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Like, at this point, what is he coming back to? If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm gonna be like, oh, sorry, I tore my Achilles again. Like, I don't want to be on the field with these scrubs.
Yeah, agreed. They're killing the chance of him coming back this year, because he is gonna look at him having absolutely no protection and being like, I'm already coming back faster than I should. There's no way I'm gonna trust you guys to protect me.
Exactly. Literally exactly. And then like at one point I wasn't even paying attention, and I was like, why aren't you watching? I said, I don't need to watch to know how bad they're doing. Like, I don't need to watch it, because a shit show is happening on my television. An actual shit show. And you know what the bad part about being in multiple fantasy leagues is? Like, you think being in one is hard. Okay, here was my situation last night. Herbert is my quarterback on me and Alex's team that we have like dual team in this one league. He's my quarterback. But then in my other league, he was playing me. So then you're in this position where you're like, well, I want the fantasy points if the Jets are going to shit the bed, but I didn't want the other person. I was already losing terribly in our league.
Yeah.
But, it's just a matter of perspective. Like, am I rooting for the Jets, or at this point, am I rooting for my fantasy players? Let me know. So it was just like a double whammy on me last night.
I agree. That's always a tough situation. But next week, Jess, we play each other in fantasy.
I know. And half of my team's on a bye. So
half of your team's on a bye.
Yeah, I gotta figure it out. I gotta make some moves. I do have people on the bench that I have been strategizing or trying to game plan in my head, but it is going to be a first place battle, I think.
Most importantly, Travis Kelce is on a bye.
Right.
And that's your all-star, so I'm happy about that.
Well, I do have a backup tight end that actually is pretty good. Okay. Who Travis Kelce hypes up a bunch. So I just need him to go off. Like, he's not going to get me 20-something points, but he has gotten me 17 points before, so we'll take it.
We'll see. The only person I have on bye next week is my kicker. So, and that's an easy pickup to get somebody else for the week. So
yeah, I really got to figure out. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do like brain surgery here.
But all my starters let me down this week, so I wouldn't necessarily call me an easy win.
My team was terrible this week. Travis Kelce got me I think he got me under 10 points. It was not anything good this week. Yeah, Taylor wasn't at the game, so that's why. But whatever.
I will say my best pickup of the week was this guy, Taysom Hill on the Saints, who, I don't know if you knew this, apparently there's such thing as utility players in football. He is a quarterback and a tight end.
What?
And sometimes he's also a receiver, like a runner. So I picked him up. He only had like a 2-point-something projection, and I was like, I just needed a tight end. I had
needed
none.
to fill in the space, yeah.
And he ended up scoring me like 25 points because he not only ran in for a touchdown, but he threw one too.
Like, I knew that receivers can like throw the ball sometimes, but it's like very like unheard of.
No, it's
I
on
feel
the
like they
app.
only do that like when they need like when it's like a close game and it's like a sneak play, you know?
On the app, he's listed as TE, QB.
Weird.
So what a good pickup I got there. But then I made the
Yeah.
mistake of sticking with the Jets defense because, you know, they're good, right? When I had the Browns defense on my bench and they scored 24 points. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
I lost by more than 24 points anyway. So it
Right,
wasn't
but it's
gonna
just a
make
matter
difference.
of like that's where like the picking and choosing, like
Yeah.
all it takes is 1 week for like that player on your bench to have a really good week and then you're kicking yourself.
Yeah, literally. So
Literally.
next week will be interesting. The battle for first place is right.
It is. We'll see how it goes next week when we record this.
Also, like, I've been a football fan my whole life, but until we played this fantasy league, I didn't realize how long the football season was. Like, I didn't realize how many weeks there were.
Right. Like, you just know it goes however many months, but when you're like, we're up to week 10 already. I'm like, we've been watching football for 10 weeks. That sounds so long.
Yeah, but then I'm looking ahead trying to plan, like, the rest of my games, and I'm, like, in the teens. I'm like, there's this many weeks? I guess I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, like, normally the regular season of fantasy is until, like, Christmas.
Jeez. It's getting intense. And nobody in our league has done a trade yet. Did we not do trades?
We don't trade for girls.
Do we not do trades?
I don't think so. I don't know if anybody's ever, like, proposed to trade.
Because I was thinking about trying one for, like, the tight ends situation last week, and then I didn't.
You could try. They just
Nobody would want to give me anybody, I have a feeling. We're all, like, holding on to who we want to hold on to. We're all spiteful and petty.
First of all, half of our teams are probably, like, drafted on, like, good-looking people also. Like...
No, I give ourselves much more credit than that. I mean, I did draft Joe Burrow with the intention that he's good, but he's also good looking. And he's finally good again. He's been having a rough beginning of the season, but he's been regular Joey B the last couple weeks.
They beat the Bills, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, nice.
So that is football. The Jets suck as per usual, although somehow still kind of in the AFC wildcard hunt. So it's really becoming the toilet bowl in that situation.
I have no words. I
would
have
say
words.
It is arguably this year it's worse to be a Giants fan. So there could always be that.
Right, and that's the other thing. Like, that game was, oh my God. Why? First of all, why Fox Sports didn't change to the better game of the Cowboys versus the Eagles? Why? Why are we watching this? It was so bad.
I know. It was painful. I was in a bar because it was after the marathon, and I had, like, just all my friends who were Giants fans around me were just like, this is like, he came out of the game with the ACL tear, and I was just like,
oh, he tore his ACL?
Yeah, I think he did.
Oh, I didn't hear the final verdict. I just knew he went into the tent, and like he literally fell down. I was like, no one touched him.
Like, because another turf injury.
Shocked.
Another turf injury. So now they have their undrafted rookie quarterback because their backup is also hurt.
Yeah, the one from Jersey.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's from Jersey.
DeVito. Yeah, he's from Jersey. He's from, like, I want to say he's from Bergen Catholic, but I could be wrong. He's from a Catholic school in Bergen County. That's all I know.
Very cool, but he's not that good.
At least they let him throw the ball this week.
Yeah.
Also, the guy was undrafted, so, like, he's allowed to not be good. The other people that get drafted in the first fucking round, you should be good.
Yeah. Yeah. He might be better than Zach Wilson.
Anybody's better. My 1-year-old's probably better than Zach Wilson. She can't even throw.
Not yet, anyway.
She can't even walk on her own. It's better than Zach.
She's trying. Anyway, enough about football. Let's move to baseball because it's so much more wondrous. The Mets hired a new manager this week, Jess.
Yeah, the 4th place Yankees bench coach.
No managerial experience.
There's just never a dull moment in our sports lives.
I know that there was a lot of teams that needed managers this year. So I understand like the competition was fierce out there, but the Mets with their high payroll couldn't do any better than this guy. They couldn't get any of the other managers
Like
that
where
were
was
better.
where was Carlos? I did see like comments on like Mets things where like people were like, wasn't Carlos Beltran like eligible again? Where's he? Like,
Maybe he gave up.
okay, but I would prefer him to the Yankees bench coach.
Remember when he was going to be the manager and then he wasn't?
Yeah, because he cheated.
He's a cheater. So now what? Like we just forget about it and we're just like, yeah, now we'll hire you.
He served his time. We forgive and we forget and we move on because I'd rather an ex-Met with a rap sheet be the manager than the Yankees bench coach.
What's this guy's
Not
name
even-
again?
I don't
Isn't
know.
he a Carlos?
I think so. Couldn't tell you. A huge piece of dust just fell.
I saw that. I was like, okay. At least it was just dust, not a
I
bug.
was so
That would've
angry.
been
I produced dust in the room.
But yeah, so that's gonna be interesting for the Mets. But in some interesting news for the Mets, did you also see the plans today for Steve Cohen's big construction project underway?
Yeah, this was like brighter news, but like also, why are we taking away all of the parking?
Only gonna be parking structures, and they're gonna have a tailgating park.
Yeah, which is stupid. Like, first of all, Lot F is for family, and I did tweet that at Steve Cohen today. Like, why can't we just do like all of the stuff that we want rebuilt? Rebuild that side. Why can't we still have like, first of all, half of your fan base is from like the lower region of like Westchester, like upstate New York, and I use upstate loosely because my husband from New York State gets mad when I call it upstate New York just because it's over the border.
It's
Anyway,
upstate.
it's upstate, exactly. Anyway, like Jersey, like these people want to drive to games. Like, it is more annoying for me, who has a train 4 seconds from my house, to get on the train, go to Newark Penn, transfer, go to Penn, get on the 7th. Like, that is annoying, and I don't want to do that with a child. 1.
Right.
2, it would take me 3 hours to get to the game instead of the hour it would take me to drive. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to drive to the game.
Well, they'll still let you do that, and I'm sure the parking garages, they were $40 to park this year. I'm sure it'll be 60 or 80.
Right, but like, why are we just like, and that's how Yankee Stadium is, and none of the Yankee fans don't like it. That's one thing that like I feel like they do complain about, is the fact that there's no convenient parking to Yankee Stadium. So why are we creating that problem for us when we actually have parking?
Yep. And also the tailgating.
I mean, I'm happy about all the other stuff. I know I sound mad, but like, I just, as somebody who drives to games,
yeah,
it's aggravating.
I'm gonna pull it up for those just so we can be a little bit of a
And I
news
don't understand
source.
the map. You would think that I never went to Citi Field in my entire life because I'm like, what am I even looking at? Need like, this
what do
is
you
where
mean?
this used to be. This is replacing this.
It's pretty obvious if you've ever looked at like an overhead map before of Citi Field.
I can't get my bearings.
Okay, so let me just recap it for you. They're going to be adding, it's an $8 billion project. Let's start with that.
It
Mr.
does
Steve
have to get
Cohen.
approved still, just saying.
It does have to be approved, but you know, it's 20 acres of public park space. So essentially where the current parking lots are, they're getting rid of that.
We're just growing grass. We're growing grass.
Making park space. Yes. Then in the further lot sections, like behind F, like all those back ones, they're turning into a gaming facility, bars and restaurants, a sports booking place, like off-track betting kind of thing, hotel, the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino.
Right.
And then they have a tailgating park, basically where the marina lots are right now. That's where they want us to go tailgate. Like under
How far away?
Like right before the overpass.
That's far.
Yeah. And then there's playgrounds. They're gonna renovate and make the train station wheelchair accessible, which is way overdone. Oh, way overdue, I mean. Bike
Right.
paths. I mean, like, do we really need these things? Community athletic fields.
Well, the
sure.
funny thing is that my cousin, so obviously you come every year, but for those that don't know, my brother makes like this huge family outing game every single year. It started at 20 people. It's now up to 150 people, just for reference. Anyway, psychotic. Lot F is for family.
Love
We
it.
always meet in Lot F. We have great sandwiches. He's up in
Mhm.
arms because he's like, where is my tailgate going to be now? Anyway, so
This might not be for
today-
another like decade though.
Right. But today, my cousin chat was blowing up because we were all like, what is going on? We were like a mix of happy, sad, whatever. So my one cousin is like, looks like we're all going to get hotel rooms and get real drunk at the game now, and we're going to go gamble afterwards. I'm like, if that's the case, I need cheaper tickets. One. Two, the other cousin's like, I don't know, I think we should have the party at the playground. I'm like, you're getting us arrested because they're going to think we're like a bunch of adults hanging out on a playground. And then my brother's suggestion was that we tailgate in the marina lot too, which I was like, I don't really want to associate with the marina lot.
Well, it's not going to be. Speaking of that, I did have another shirt on earlier that I changed purposely because I refused to wear it on air. We're not going to talk any further on that. But yes, no, I don't know what the tailgating is going to be. It could be years down the road. This hasn't even been approved. What I'm thinking even more, before we're going to have all these issues of where to go, when, what new stuff's going to be there, think about the construction project and how the area is going to be a disaster until it's actually done.
Right. So they're going to have to.
Then you can't
one,
park
they would have
and
to
you
do
can't
it.
play.
They would have to do it in phases.
Mm.
And I would think that they would do the parking lot last, obviously, so you have all those other things to go to incentivize you taking the train.
Right. Because they can't like build the parking first and then still not have anything else open yet.
Right. Like, that's just silly.
But it takes a lot of time for grass to grow. So they got to get started on that if they want some nice looking
Well,
parks.
they would probably get like, I'm sure they would get like the thingies, the sod.
I don't know. I'm not a landscaper.
I think they would get sod and then it would grow. Like, they need somebody to grow grass. I know.
Does this also mean they're getting rid of in the parking lot where the Shea Stadium like bases are? That's going to be a park now.
No, they'll probably put it in the park.
But they're going to have to like uproot them and like put them back.
Well, yeah, obviously, but I don't. If Steve Cohen does that, I will be. Get me a picket sign. I will be out there.
Listen, I'm very excited for there to be some bars and restaurants around there. It's
I
way
am
overdue.
excited about as well because like we have nowhere to go after games. Like the Yankees fans, they at least have like Billy's. They have things to do after their games while they don't want to like go on the train right away. Like they have somewhere to pregame if they wanted. And like now that we got rid of McFadden's, we don't have anything.
Right. And like, because
R.I.P.
when we went to
McFadden's.
Baltimore this summer, like they had pickles, like that was so fun.
Right.
We need something like that.
Even though you and my brother thought it was a good idea to go back there after the game, even though nobody was going back there, but that's neither here nor there.
We didn't.
You guys
would have
died.
I ended up going to an Irish pub by my lonesome. Thank you very much.
I know.
And I had a good time, so it was fine.
Okay, well that worked out better for you than going to Pickles and walking the 1.5 miles back to the hotel. If I sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
So yeah, wow. And this is the Mets off season, and we already have so much to talk about. So again, we're gonna try to keep this podcast all things, but just everybody obviously has to know us to know that when big things or big news happens in our sports teams, we're gonna be talking about it. And I hope you're all very interested in what we have to say about it. I think we have very unique perspectives about it.
Girls who like sports.
Girls Talking Sports will probably be the name of this episode.
Could be. That's a good name of the episode, honestly.
I know. That might be the first time we pre-thought the name of an episode out.
I know. Usually I'm like uploading and I'm like, oh geez, what am I gonna make it? What are we talk about?
But yeah, so that is I wanted to definitely talk about that development because that's going to change the whole experience of how we go to games.
Overall, I think it's gonna be a good thing. The lack of parking is the only thing that I find to be, and I know that they're gonna be like, oh well, there's parking garages. No one wants to park in a parking garage. Like no one. Especially people going to a sports game. It's not like you're going to a concert or something like that. Like people like to get to the game early. Like especially City Field, people play catch like in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Get friends. You're hanging out. Like it's a good parking lot. Like why are we getting rid of that?
And they're putting solar panels on the roof, so it's not even like you'll have like a roof parking level.
Right, so you can't even go to the top level and be like, here we go, this is us.
No.
Also,
and I don't think they're going to allow any kind of, they're not going to allow anything happening in the garages.
I would not be able to like stand in park. I would think that the thing was going to collapse while I'm standing in it.
Here we go.
Here we go. Do we want to remind you about your last week's topic that was so off the rails? Even though I saw it happen, but it was still off the rails.
I think that was a lot more realistic than standing in a parking garage, especially a newly constructed one, and it's just going to collapse all around you. Don't go into any parking garages this week because our podcast usually manifests things.
Oh, man.
Anyway, to change the topic, I did also see on this thing, I need to ask you why it says you don't like time. It literally is just a bullet point that says, I don't like time. Please explain that.
Do you know that I made myself another note about the note, not in the note, so that I can remember the context in which that was about? Please hold. No, that wasn't the note that I made about the note. That was something else that I do want to talk about. Okay, I just don't like time. Like, I don't like how fast time goes. Like, I don't like growing up. Like, I don't like thinking about, like, how fast time is going. And I feel like at this point of the year, everybody's always, like, rushing the time because it's, like, one, daylight savings is like, oh, now it gets dark, so I feel like the whole day is like.
That's what I thought this rant would be about. I thought it was gonna be about daylight savings, not about just life going on.
Oh no, it's about life. I don't mind daylight savings other than the fact that like it gets dark at 4:00 because we're on day 3 of seasonal depression and we're not doing good.
Oh yeah.
But like it's just a matter of like I don't like how fast things like why are we rushing my life? Like stop putting out the Halloween things in August, stop putting out the Christmas things in September, stop rushing. Like this point of the year, I'm like I hate time. Like how is it November? How? It was just a general statement and I feel like I had so many other thoughts in the moment, so I should have made a note about the note, but I didn't.
Listen, in this day and age, I think humanity just needs like things to look forward to. So I think that's why like holidays.
Okay,
but
we're rushing. We're rushing.
You're rushing. We're rushing, or we're just like trying to like look forward to the next thing. Like not to play devil's advocate, but
yeah. But
like,
did you ever see those memes that was like, oh, I was so busy waiting for the next thing that I didn't enjoy the moment?
I guess you make a decent point there.
Yeah, I mean, I should also tell myself that, but whatever.
Practice what you preach.
But like, I don't know. I was talking to the girl next to me at work, and we were talking about time, and I was like, where does it go? Where does it go?
It do be like that sometimes. It do go.
I know,
quick.
but I hate it because then like I just think of like my parents, my grandparents. They're like, oh, the years fly by, and you're like, no, I don't want to. Like I shouldn't be saying that at 31.
No, you shouldn't. Some
But
things.
also, how did I get to 31?
First you were 20, then you were 30.
I know, but
now
it's
you're
like
31.
you know, it's like the it gets like philosophical. Like you're like, what?
It's called an existential crisis, Jess. That's actually what you're having.
I mean, I have that 24/7.
I have that multiple times a week, so I totally agree with you. But it's just when you like, I don't know, when I'm the one ranting about it, I know exactly what you're talking about. But then you're ranting about it, and I'm like, it's just how life is. Like, I don't know, it's like the outside looking in kind of thing, I guess. And that's how friendship works. We can't be having existential crises together. That would just be bad.
Right.
We need to always
we pull each other in from the existential crisis.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. Wait, now that I found that other note, we need to touch upon something else. So I also put in the marathon because one, like, the marathon was this weekend, the New York City Marathon, and obviously Tony Ann and I live in the tri-state area, and most of you know that because you're our family and friends, but if some rando is listening to that, fun fact. So I wanted to talk about the New York City Marathon because one, I have never had the desire to run a marathon unless the only one that I would ever consider doing is obviously the ones at Disney World because it's Disney World. And I just feel like that would be aesthetically pleasing to run through Disney World for me. Two, I like the New York City Marathon is really cool. I think it's cool. But I would not be caught dead running over the Verrazano Bridge. I would die. I would have a cardiac arrest on the Verrazano Bridge because I was on the bridge. Like,
there's I told you there's.
You want me to run over? There's 3 bridges or 4 bridges. No, absolutely not. No, I think there's 4. You run over the Verrazano. You run over the 59th Street. I think the 3rd Avenue Bridge, and then you run over that one that goes from the Bronx to like Harlem. I think it's like the Washington something. It's that white bridge. I know which one it is because I used to cross over it all the time. But regardless, you could not pay me to run over multiple bridges within a short period of time because I would collapse on one of them from anxiety. So Disney is more my speed. Anyway, my problem with it is that when they show it on TV, why can't you tell me where they are? I don't need a pinpoint location on where, but don't tell me who's in the lead and not tell me what borough they're in.
You could track them on the
app. I wasn't tracking the front runners.
You could though.
First of all, and the people in the paraplegics, right? They're all paraplegic. Kudos to you, like the arm strength, like the physical physics behind that. Like I heard them talking about like how they have to go uphill and like when they're going downhill, if they like lean too much, like they could like flip themselves and stuff like that. Is like just it's mind-boggling to me. It really is. And then I feel like a lazy piece of shit because I can't even like I pulled several muscles going axe throwing on Friday night.
Well, my marathon Sunday was actually great because it was the first time in my life as a lifelong New Yorker that I've actually spectated the New York City Marathon, because some people are like, get as far away from the city as you can that day. And I'm like, I've always just kind of not cared enough about a marathon because like you, I would never be caught dead running. But, you know, I was like, you know what? My friend invited me to a party. She lives on First, and it was a beautiful weekend. It was beautiful weather. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. I live in Jersey now where it's so easy to get to the city. I don't have to drive. I don't have to do anything like that. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. It was, I'm not even kidding, one of the best days I've had. Like, it was
it looked
really
so
awesome.
Fun. I was tracking people on my phone, the ones that I knew running, and I was having the best time, like, tracking them. I was just, like, so proud from a distance. And then, also, though, I feel like it's different for you because you lived in Staten Island, so, like, they don't really run through Staten Island. Like, the Staten Island portion is them.
Oh, well, I always made the
getting on the bridge.
I'm like, they just needed to, like, check it off as a borough, but it's so ironic that the race starts by everybody running away from Staten Island. So that's just basically how.
Well, the other funny thing is that, well, the reason they were saying that too, when I was watching like the coverage, obviously in the morning, they were saying if you ran up the Verrazano like miles in or even a mile in, it would knock literally like it would just be that much more challenging to finish the race.
Yeah.
So I think they do that because one, they're technically all congregating in Staten Island, before they hit the finish line, they're walking through Staten Island, or the starting line rather, but
Mhm.
they have to start with that because it's the hardest part of the entire thing.
And it doesn't loop back to somewhere, whereas all the other boroughs are
Right, that too.
connected.
Right.
It's not. Same reason why they barely touch the Bronx and then they come back into Manhattan, because it's just not connected to anything else.
Right,
So,
right.
but no, it's really cool. And like I said, I was on First Avenue the whole day, and you know me, like I make jokes and I'm like always making fun of like runners and things like that. I honestly, like, not to get cheesy, it was so heartwarming. Like I felt so, I've obviously always been proud of like being from New York, but like that is the day where like New Yorkers are like their best selves. Like, no, I'm getting like, like I was like getting emotional.
No, I'm
on
just
Sunday.
laughing because it's like we're on our best behavior because we're on the world stage.
Oh, well, not only that, it's just like you have at least like 50, 60,000 people running.
No,
who you don't know, except for maybe a couple
crazy.
of them. And they have their names on their chest and you're yelling, "Go somebody," and you have no idea who they are. They don't know who you are, but they look at you and they smile and like you push them like an extra like couple of steps. You know what I mean? It's like,
No,
it's
yeah, it
so
is cool.
nice. The signs were fantastic. I friggin' loved all the signs. They were so clever. Like,
I know. Well, Glenn posted that somebody made him a "You Go Glenn Coco" sign, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I was really hoping, like, I was gonna kick myself if nobody made him a "You Go Glenn Coco" sign.
Yeah, that was
And
smart.
he goes, I didn't even think of it like until I was running and I saw it, and then I was cracking up. I was like,
Yeah.
Glenn, it was the first thing I thought of. Like,
it was just so nice. It was just a huge like block party all day.
Yeah.
And then once the race was over, it kind of was set. I will say, if I'm going to do it again next year, which I told my friend, I want to make this like a yearly thing. Like, this is going to become my new tradition because I really did
maybe
love
I'll
it.
come with you because I really
You
like. I'm
should.
intrigued. Like, I do want to watch it. Like, I ran like 3 5Ks in 2020, like back to back to back
Who are
through
you?
like Beachbody, but like on my own. Like, I wasn't like doing, but I did enjoy running for like the mental aspect. Like, I don't know if I could run 26.6 miles,
Two.
but
26.2.
26.2 miles. But like the 5K was like it was great. Like, I would like go out, I would do a midday run, like get myself out, get myself to stop watching the news.
Yeah, that's 3 miles.
Right, 3.1. So, but regardless, like finishing 3.1 miles, because I'm not a runner, was crazy. And like, even if I didn't, the thing with the Disney marathons, those too, is like a lot of people just do them to do them. Like,
right.
You don't have to be like a professional runner, like in the like the Boston Marathon or the Chicago Marathon or the New York Marathon. Like, you're like, people are just having fun with it. So that's why I think if I did one, I would do like a less serious one.
Well, if you ever did a real marathon, which, no offense, Jess, I'm not holding my breath over it. Love you, but
no, I would never.
Yeah,
I'm not holding my breath either. I'm just saying, like, they do the Princess Half in February. I'd sign up for that one just to dress up like a princess and run.
Well, my friend Mary, who hosted me on Sunday, she is running the Boston half this upcoming weekend, and I told her that if she wants to do their New York City Marathon, I will go all out. Like, no joke. I'll be making 1,000 signs. I'll be getting custom T-shirts. I'll be getting custom hats. I'll be doing everything because it's just so fun to cheer. And then
I know.
Like I said, the only thing next year is that I'll probably like want to like start to cut out to like go to the bars a little earlier, because this year, like, we watched the whole thing. Like, I got to her apartment
When does it end?
I got to her apartment around 11, and well, so the like race starts at like 8. And well, like the elite runners start at like 8:30.
Right. I told you it started at like 7 a.m. and I was like, what do you mean? It's gonna be over by the time you get there. Meanwhile,
but you don't realize, like, and then like, so like
I didn't realize it was staggered.
Yeah, it goes staggered. So there were still people running the streets as it was getting dark out, which was like 4:30, 5 o'clock. But like at 4 o'clock, they reopened streets to start cleaning it up and stuff. So all like the stragglers at the end, like basically like the streets were back to normal. Like people were crossing by them. All the police were like picking up the barricades. And I'm like, this is actually kind of sad because I'm like, now it's like you cheered all day for everybody running. And then you have the people that like are just walking and probably won't make it to the finish line. And I'm like, I don't think I want to see this next year because it was kind of sad.
So you're cutting out to the bars early to not.
So, because then after that, we headed to the bars and we had another great night. Like I said, it was a huge block party. Like the bars were overflowing into the street and like the cops didn't care. And like everybody, like I was just holding my cup in the middle.
So it does seem fun to like watch. Like I feel like I would want to do it like one time at least.
And for me, like I said, where I live, it was so convenient to get to and from that I can't even say like, oh, it's such a pain being in the city that day. Like, no, it was perfectly so easy to do. So, so that was my marathon Sunday. It is the first of many because like I said, I really like, it was a very good, like chicken soup for the soul day for me. Like I felt very inspired, not to run, but to like keep cheering for people that I usually probably wouldn't care about. And yeah.
I cannot.
I just wanted to let that out. You know, everybody doesn't always see like the nice, kind side of me. I'm usually a little bitchy.
I was trying to watch I was watching the live feed of the finish line, like when I thought the people I knew were like finishing. I was getting very emotional watching these people finish. And I think that's why I felt like inspired. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll like try to actually like do like a Disney run. But Disney does like 5Ks, they do 10Ks, everything. There's people that do like the Dopey in January when they have like their full marathon and they run the 10K, the half marathon, and the full marathon back to back to back. And it's called the Dopey because you are quite dopey if you do that. But like, kudos to you if you run that much.
Yeah, that sounds like my worst nightmare personally. Not only running, but running through like an amusement park. Sorry to say. We have different interests in that. I don't romanticize Disney World the same way you do. Sorry.
Just forget about the world when I go there. Doesn't feel real. That's the reality. That's why I like it because I don't like time and I don't like facing reality. So that is why I like Disney World.
You go to the happiest place on earth.
I'm in an alternate universe when I am there.
That's nice. Listen, there's something for everyone.
Exactly. But I mean, it is what it is. But regardless, wow, we had like such a sports talk today. I love it.
Yeah, this is definitely Girls Who Talk Sports. Like that's definitely this episode. We took a brief break to talk about how much you hate just living life, and then we got back to sports.
The funny, like I was just like cracking up because I literally put that in the note so that you would like, I was like, she's gonna literally be like, what the hell does this mean?
Yeah.
And then of course you asked and I was not prepared for that because we were talking sports.
Oh, Jess. That was good. I think we wrapped it up pretty nicely there. Let's
did.
Go ahead and do it. I love everybody. Apologies that we were late to the YouTube last week. We will get it timed perfectly this week.
Sorry, peeps.
That's all right. It happens. Low budge podcasting, you know it. But keep on subscribing and downloading.
Ball on a budge.
Yeah, ball on a budge.
Subscribe, download, share with your friends. And thanks for being our friend. Who beat you to it this time.
That's all right. Thanks for being our friend. I don't have the last word. Bye.
Hi, friends. Wow, you listened to the whole thing. Thanks for listening. Please be sure to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platform and share it with your friends. Ratings, reviews, and comments help as well. See you next week. Thanks for being our friend.